I had recently received an invitation to camp and join the Adventure Overland and Campervan show in Stratford-upon-Avon, which fit perfectly with my prior plans to drive the North Coast 500 in Scotland. Thus, after a quick resupply of my fridge, I hopped on the motorway for a relatively short trip to the show. Once I arrived, I quickly made camp. I was extremely impressed with the number of expedition trucks present, and quickly joined in talking to other attendees. As you can see, I met some really interesting people, along with some acquaintances with whom I've been communicating via the internet, but had never actually met in person before. Maggie and I had previously met David and Jane at Expo West in Arizona many years ago, so it's very nice to meet back up with them again. The following picture is not mine. It was taken by Phil Thurlow, who expertly managed to capture the reflection of the coastline in Bat's paintwork as I camped in this location overnight. And if you're watching this, Phil, a big thank you for sending me the picture. And then I proceeded to Cramlington in Northumberland, where I went off on a trip down memory lane. I won't embarrass these two very special people too much, but I must say that Malcolm and Jean were extremely kind to me in my hour of need. They took me into their house for 3 to 4 months while I was working up in the north of England. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. Thank you, guys. You will always have a special place in my heart. While my father was born in Germany, my mother, on the other hand, was born in Scotland and lived in the small village of Evanton just north of Inverness. My mother's maiden name was Monroe, one of the many famous Scottish clans. And so it was, with my Scottish heritage on my mind, I continued north into the lowlands. Just southeast of Edinburgh, on Scotland's east coast, lays Tantallon Castle. Built in the mid-1300s, this castle is certainly worth a visit. And as you can see during my visit, we were blessed with clear blue skies, which promoted this ancient castle in the best possible light. I thoroughly enjoyed my visit here. Finally, I arrived in Edinburgh, and based upon some intel I had received online, the best place for RVs to park when visiting Edinburgh was right outside the police station. After Edinburgh, I headed north to the Scottish Highlands and the location of the village where my mother grew up. Further north, this scenic location hides, unfortunately, a checkered past. I won't attempt to explain it here, but look up the Highland clearances if interested to know more. John O'Groats has been on my bucket list for some time. Finally, I arrived at the northerly tip of the Scottish mainland and this touristy but nevertheless interesting place. left John O'Groats following a convoy of 3 long trucks carrying huge blades from a wind turbine. And then came the famous Applecross Pass, which was a rather interesting road and certainly attention-getting. Please forgive me because I could not film all of this absolutely fantastic pass. Why? Because many sections required 2 hands on the wheel and absolute concentration to stay on the rather narrow road. Anyway, enjoy. as is so often the case, when in doubt as to exactly what to do during a limited time stay in a beautiful location, check in with the locals. It was suggested to me that I visit and hike Kerrang. As you can see from this footage, this place was nothing short of spectacular. It was rumoured that in days long gone by, some people would go into hiding up here from those that would pursue them, and I can certainly believe it. I met this lovely family just outside a local museum, imagining traveling with a 2-year-old and a newborn. After enjoying this tasty meal at a pub on the Isle of Skye, I returned to find that this Jobsworth parking attendant had given me a ticket, because, while I had paid the parking fee and displayed the ticket in Bat's window as instructed, and this, as you can see, was despite there being plenty of available spots for others to park in. After having made it back to the south of England and my sister Anne's house, one could say that Bat's Nordic trip 2024 is paused. Certainly the trip will start again in 25, but for now, Bat will enjoy a well-earned rest at my sister's house. For me, however, I decided to make a long overdue personal trip to see my sister Karen, who for many years now has lived in the Canary Islands. Admittedly, I'm somewhat embarrassed to say that I have not seen Karen for 15 years, and so I was definitely looking forward to this trip. As you can see, Karen lives in a very nice part of the world, and I thoroughly enjoyed seeing my sister again. I had a great time meeting Karen's friends and receiving a small glimpse into how she lives her life in Tenerife. We had such a great sibling time together catching back up, and I shall certainly cherish the memories of this visit.